Brakta Yahweh, Brakatha, Yahusha, Brakta Yahweh, Brakatha, Yahusha Bashem, Rakakwadash, double honor to the apostles, the elders, salutations to you, sincere brothers, teaching in truth and in sincerity. This lesson will be entitled, We Need Salvation to Get to the Kingdom of Heaven. Lord will, you are edified. This video was inspired by a comment a scoffer made.
Because you guys, you lie, you come up with that false chart. Only Israel's only black, you dumbass niggas.
Negative, dummy. Jeremiah 12 and verse 9. Mine heritage, referring to the entire nation of Israel, is unto me as a speckled bird. The birds round about are against her. And these birds is referring to these other nations. Come ye, assemble all the beasts of the field, come to devour. When you investigate speckled in the Hebrew, you have a definition, and it's variegated, which means many colors. So when we utilize Jeremiah 12 and verse 9, this proves that the entire nation of Israel cannot be all so-called black. Revelation 7 and verse 9. After this I beheld, and lo, a great multitude, referring to the elect, which no man could number, of all nations, Israelites, and kindreds, Israelites, and people, Israelites, and tongues, Israelites, stood before the throne and before the Lamb, clothed with white robes and palms in their hands. All right. And because of the scattering, going back into the curse spoken of in Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter, okay, we were scattered throughout the four corners of the world. And therefore, we look like these various nations. So, by default, how can the entire nation of Israel be so-called black only? It doesn't make sense.
Okay? You lie and talk about somebody being reincarnated. They don't make sense. Then why do we...
He states it don't make sense. And the reason why, 2 Corinthians 4, verse 3. But if our gospel, this good news, be hid, it is hid to them that are lost. Our gospel is hid to this idiot, okay? And it's evident he's lost. He's driving aimlessly.
need a savior then, if you're going to be saved anyway in the kingdom. You don't make any damn sense. You lie and talk about somebody being reincarnated. They don't make sense. Then why do we need a savior then, if you're going to be saved anyway in the kingdom?
We need a savior to get to the kingdom, dummy. Who in the fuck wants to die and come back through the process of reincarnation when you have an opportunity to assist Yahushua and initiate the kingdom? You are a dummy, an idiot. Matthew 1 and 21. And she shall bring forth a son, and you shall call his name Yahushua, for he shall save his people from their sins, beginning with the elect out of the nation of Israel. Romans 10 and 1. Brethren, my heart's desire and prayer to the Most High for Israel is that they might be saved. Saved from what? Let's focus on this term. according to the Greek. Saved from what?
Strong's G 4991, soteria. Soteria.
And according to definition 3, in regards to future salvation, the sum of benefits and blessings which the Mashiachim redeemed from all earthly ills. An example of an earthly ill. Jeremiah 30:7. Alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it. Right, referring to the elect within the nation of Israel. And Jacob's trouble is classified or can be considered as an earthly ill. Daniel 12:1. And at that time shall Michael stand up, the great prince, which stand for the children of your people, and there shall be a time of trouble, such as never was since there was a nation, even to that same time, and at that time your people shall be delivered, everyone that shall be found written in the book. All right, and this time frame is approaching. So it does make all the sense in the world, okay? First Thessalonians 5:3. For when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction come on them as travail on a woman with child, and they shall not escape. Let's focus on travail according to the Greek.
Strong's G 5604, Odin. Odin.
And according to outline of biblical usage, intolerable anguish, meaning what? Mental pain, physical pain, and suffering. Okay, look it up. In reference to the dire calamities. All right. A calamity is what? Something that is disastrous. Before the arrival of the Mashiach Yahushua. Okay. So it does make sense to escape from these earthly ills, to be saved from these earthly ills. Who in the fuck in their right mind wants to be judged, okay, by these earthly ills sent upon you from Yahweh Bashem Yahushua? It doesn't make sense. Revelation 3:10. But you have kept the word of my patience. I also will keep you from the hour of temptation. And the hour of temptation is also spoken of in Revelation, the 13th chapter, which shall come on all the world to try them that dwell on the earth. Okay? This is another example of an earthly ill. Amos 5:18. Woe unto you that desire the day of the Lord Yahweh. To what end is it for you? Are you going to be saved or judged? The day of the Lord Yahweh is darkness and not light. As if a man did flee from a lion and met a bear met him, or went into the house and leaned his hand on the wall, and a serpent bit him. Shall not the day of the Lord Yahweh be darkness and not light, even very dark, and no brightness in it? Okay? Another example of the earthly ills that will be exercised by Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushua, on the wicked. Okay? Revelation 20 and verse 6. Blessed and holy is he that has part in the first resurrection. On such the second death has no power, another earthly ill, but they shall be priests of the Most High and of Mashiach, referring to the elect, and shall reign with him 1,000 years. And 1,000 years is symbolic for what? Assisting Yahushua with the formulation and developmental stages within the kingdom of heaven. Okay? So when we go back to Romans chapter 10, and verse 1, back into definition 3, when the focal point is on the Greek term saved, future salvation, the sum of benefits and blessings which the Mashiachim redeem from all earthly ills, and through the spirit of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua. Okay. The spirit brought out a lot of earthly ills that the wicked will encounter, will enjoy after the visible return of Mashiach from heaven in the consummated and eternal kingdom of the Most High. Because when Yahushua returns, he's bringing that second death with him. Okay? He will bring that second death with him. Lord, will you are edified. Shalom.